Yeah, 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 yeah. This the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. In the field with my dogs, like the Sixers, we gon' ball. Wake up early in the morning, tune in anytime at all. Hard time, all season, don't believe in off seasons. Watch the Phillies, watch the Flyers, and the Eagles on the weekends, yeah. This is not your ordinary radio show. Ain't just talking sports, we be talking about the culture. All across the globe, anything you wanna cover. This is for the fans, no room for our front runners. This the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, 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 yeah. You know the vibes.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Brad Memory Show. Marcus Bradless Memory.
Yo.
Winning is very difficult, and I recognize that. And I think that a lot of times being a fan, we forget how difficult it is to be the last man standing. It's a very, very hard thing to do. And that's why when you get there, expectations have to change. So going into the Phillies playoff run, it was just pure bliss, pure joy. And, I am very thankful for the 6 weeks they gave us of some of the best memories of my sports life. However, two things can be true. I can be very thankful and appreciative of the run, but I also can be extremely disappointed that we did not finish the goal, because I know how difficult it is to have a parade at the end of your season. How difficult is it? I've only seen two. So I'm 42 years old. So that tells you right there the odds of being successful at the end of a season. It's difficult. And I will tell you right now, looking at the series, the thing that frustrates me the most is that it was winnable. It was there to be taken. I look no further than Game 5. Game 5 took at least 5 to 10 years. I mean, technically I was alive for 83, but I was 3 years old. I was only 3. I was alive, but I have technically 83, 8, and 17, but 83, no, I wasn't really present for that. I was still had the binky in my mouth. I didn't know what was going on. But anyway, so you look at Game 5, and Game 5, like I said, took several years off my sports life. Justin Verlander was to be had in Game 5. He tried everything in the world to give that game to the Phillies, and the Phillies just wouldn't take it. The Rhys Hoskins at bat early on with the bases loaded will haunt me forever. There's the Kyle Schwarber down the line that fell in Trey Mancini's glove. The amazing catch in the outfield. There were opportunities for that game to be won. And we it's been a week since we've been on the air, and as excited as I was after Game 3, I said I was very concerned about Game 4 and Game 5, and a lot of those reasons kind of came to fruition. When it comes to the pitching rotations, you see the difference between the two. We're throwing a bullpen game out while they're throwing their ace. That's different in itself, but that wasn't the problem. I mean, the bats were the issue, and were the issues down the stretch and scoring runs. You look at the games the Phillies lost, which is games 2, 4, 5, and 6. They scored about 4 to 5 runs, and in the games 1 and 3, they scored 13 runs. So in 2 games, they pretty much doubled their production out of the 4 games they lost. Obviously, you can't have that. And Dusty Baker being way smarter than any manager they face, after Game 3 came resolution like, you know what? I'm not pitching to Bryce Harper. Why should I? I don't have to. I don't have to because there's no production out of Castellanos. There's no protection. why in the world am I throwing this man anything that's going to hurt me? So, you know, it's hard because again, like it's always tough when something ends and it doesn't end the way you want it to. It's extremely frustrating because after game three, this I thought of two things after the series ended. I thought of the Sixers 2019 against the Raptors, and I thought of the Phillies 2009 against the Yankees. Very similar series where the 2019 analogy is the Sixers, you know, game three come out, put a whooping on Toronto, and you're feeling good. You're feeling good going to the next couple of games, and just like everything kind of falls apart from that moment on. And the 2009 Yankees analogy was that's another series Philly should have won. Philly should have won that series. They were in that series the better team. There was just some moments and issues they had that they just didn't capitalize and didn't finish the race. You know, this is the next part I'm going to say going into Game 6 is not revisionist history, is not Monday morning quarterbacking, because I talked about this about 3 weeks ago. I knew there would be a time where Rob Thompson would go to that bullpen a time too early, and it happened in Game 6. It was like literally looking in the future and saying this at some point will be a problem, and it became a problem. Listen, it's a very big difference between being consistent and being predictable. You want to be consistent, but you don't want to be predictable. Thompson bringing in Alvarado in that spot is something he had already done. So, I think Alvarez, it was almost a relief to him because he had seen it before. It happened. And Zach Wheeler was untouchable in Game 6. Like, he was pitching through dead arm, but the man was touching 99. Like, and you look at how that inning gets started. It gets started with a hit batsman, which is extremely controversial. I mean, that, we can do an hour on that. The inning starts with that. Then you get a bleeder up the middle. I let Wheeler stand and face him. The guys, and sometimes what you do is, what you don't want to have happen is, when you take a guy out that's dealing and it doesn't look like you can touch him, you give them momentum. And Alvarado, let's be honest, the World Series was not the lights out guy he was in the NLCS, DS and the wild card round. He just wasn't. And asking him to come into that spot first and third, I think was just not setting him up for success. I think he went to the well way too often. And, that's something hopefully he'll learn from. I think that's fair to be critical of that aspect of it. And I also think him not changing his lineup at any point is something we can be critical about.
Oh, yeah.
How do you allow Nick Castellanos to sit behind Bryce Harper and not produce?
Oh, I got the numbers. Just wait. I got the numbers.
Good. And then he sits behind him, doesn't produce, and then you just don't make any changes. And really, like, I get protecting the confidence of Castellanos. So I'm not talking about moving him down to 9. I'm just talking simply flip-flopping JT and Bryce. That's it. That's really the only you have to do is just say, okay, put Bryce back at 3, put Real Muto at 4. So there's some protection there. Because Real Muto, he wasn't great in the World Series, but at least he was still driving the ball. Like, he was driving. He was like, it's someone you have to take seriously at the plate. Castellanos, for the most part, wasn't putting good swings on the baseball at all. Not even close to that. So that bothered me. And, I think I'm okay with, I'm not calling for the manager's head or anything like that. I think these are things that can be talked about in the office. I'm sure Dave Dombrowski will go over these things. I think these things will be improved upon. And when you have a better roster, it definitely will make things easier to manage. I think this team was a little thin in areas, and it was exposed, especially as you get later into this series with a good manager and a good team, a team really that has no weaknesses from the starting pitching to the bullpen to the 1 through 9. So as our roster gets better, it's going to become easier to make these decisions. But listen, I'm going to close and let you jump in here. I'm just going to say, listen, 2 things can be true, okay? We can have enjoyed this last 6 weeks, take some memories that will last a lifetime, but we also can be disappointed about how this ended. Because like I said in the beginning of this, is that we know, being from Philadelphia, and just if you pay attention to sports, it is very difficult to be the last team standing. And when you're the last team standing, you need to take, I'm sorry, when you're in that championship series game, whatever, you need to take advantage of that, because it's not like they'll be back next year. We don't know that. Like, it is very difficult to win. It's not easy. So when you have that opportunity, you got to take advantage of that. And I just look at this as another blown opportunity from a Philadelphia team to bring home a championship.
Yeah. This team overachieved, if we're being honest. I don't think it's out of the realm to say that. They were the 6th wild card team, and the only reason they made the playoffs is because baseball expanded the playoffs this year. The only reason that they even were keeping their head above water for the end of the season was because the National League had the designated hitter. But, as you said, when you get in, expectations change. I am not mad that they lost because they didn't belong there. But I'm disappointed that they didn't win because you were within 2 games with a 2-1 lead to win a championship. I'm not mad because you blew a chance at beginning your dynasty. I'm disappointed that you squandered the chance to get a parade earlier than you probably should be there. There's no guarantee that Bryce Harper ever plays in a World Series ever again. This could have been his chance. Don't mistake disappointment with anger. I'm not mad. This team Marcus, we've been doing the show for over 2 years now. You've heard me come on here and say, I want the Phillies to be good, but then I go and I proceed to kill them because for the last decade, they have been completely inept. They have revitalized an entire generation of baseball fans, and they have planted the seeds for the next generation of baseball fans in Philadelphia. So I don't want it to come across as I'm mad at them. I am not. I mean, I can finally wash my Roy Halladay jersey. I have worn that for every show in the playoffs. I haven't washed it at all. I am so happy. It is sitting in my hamper right now. It will get washed next time I do the laundry. I can't tell you the last time I broke that jersey out to wear it. So I'm very thankful that this happened. But that doesn't change the fact that I am disappointed that we are not at a parade yesterday like the Astros had. We should have been on Broad Street. I should have been spraying people with champagne. That should have happened yesterday. It was 77 degrees yesterday and sunny. That should have been our boat parade for the other team yesterday. But what it is now is that it is on John Middleton to not rest on your laurels. You cannot revert back to now missing the playoffs for 2, 3, 4, 5 years now. You need to take this and run with it because you saw what will happen. Because he wasn't the majority owner last playoff run. That was David Montgomery. So he's now getting the taste of being the owner. The players, none of them besides Kyle Schwarber has ever been in the World Series. They all got to witness that. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from the Chicago Cubs fan base. They are a massive, massive fan base. They broke a 100-year curse. I can't guarantee Wrigley Field was like, I've never been to Wrigley Field, so I don't know. I can't guarantee the atmosphere was like Citizens Bank Park during these playoffs. I don't know, but I highly doubt it. You need to then go take what you did. This is a great building block. We had said, just make the playoffs, get the experience, break the curse. They did more than that. They went through the wild card series. They went through the division series, through the championship series, and to the World Series. So now instead of having one block to build your foundation, you now have 4 blocks. And I expect that this construction will now go up faster than previously anticipated because you have a better foundation than what it is. Expectations are now raised moving forward as well. You cannot sit on this. Let me real quick get into some of these numbers from the World Series because Topper, I think it's a trap. Personally, I have a really hard time putting an interim manager as the winner for manager of the year. It's just me personally. You didn't do it the whole season. He came in 50 games already done. I understand he took them from, a guaranteed bottom dwelling team in the National League to within 2 games of a parade. I understand that. But he also did that in 112 games, not 162 games. So me personally, I can't give him the award. But I do think it's a travesty that Topper is not at least one of the finalists for NL Manager of the Year. But with that being said, off of how you explained it, when you were going into game 6 of a series, you played this team 6 times in 8 days. They've seen Alvarado, 4 times already, 5 times. I don't know exactly how many games he came in, but 3, 4, 5 times. This Astros team is the closest thing to a dynasty since these Jeter Yankees. Now, I understand the late 2000s, early 2010s Giants might have something to say, but this Astros team for these last 5, 6, 7 years is better that run than that Giants team. I understand the Giants had more championships during that run than these Astros have right now, but this team is better because this Astros team is not slowing down. This is a freight train, and they're still ready to go. They should be the favorites to win it again next year. They just should be. They churn out 100-mile-an-hour pitchers, one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. So there's no shame in losing to them. But it's how you lost those last 2 games. You went in game 5. Well, no. Let me go with game 6. Wheeler's dealing. Now, I didn't put 2 and 2 together in the moment that it was his second mound visit for the inning, and he had to pull Wheeler if he left the dugout. In the moment, I was just frustrated that he pulled it out. Looking back, I understand rules. If he left the dugout, he had to come out. So I understand it's the rules. Then why'd you bring your ass out of the dugout, Marcus? Right. You should have stayed in the dugout. He is not only your best starter, he is your best pitcher, and he looks the best he's looked in months. You leave him in there. Could you imagine if that same situation was occurring and Charlie tried to take Roy Halladay out of game? Absolutely.
Zach Wheeler was not happy.
No.
They literally stopped showing him. They showed his face initially. It reminds me, honestly, of the Blake Snell incident with Tampa Bay a couple years back when he was taken out prematurely and they gave up the runs and against Dodgers.
Yes.
And it reminds me a lot of that because I personally believe, I can't guarantee anything, but I believe Zach Wheeler would got out of that jam.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they get a run. Maybe it wasn't one.
It wasn't like they came out. It wasn't like they came out and they were shelling him.
Yeah, he wasn't.
In that inning, he got a very weak hit by pitch, which, I mean, I might be public enemy number 1. He got hit by the pitch. Like, you don't have to get out of the way. You can't.
Somebody's do that all the time.
You can't lean into it like the guy did in game 1.
Yeah.
But you don't have to get out of the way.
Listen, if you want to
take 99 on the elbow, if you want to take 99 on the elbow, that's on you. I'm not doing it.
He was trying to get hit.
Yeah.
You saw him move closer to the batter's box after the second thing, but it's not an illegal play.
No.
It's irritating.
A lot of people are saying, "Oh, he should," but no. That's the first one, game 1. Yes. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. That one, like I said, if you want to take 99 on the elbow,
right.
Go ahead. I'm not.
Right.
But and then it was a single up the middle. Was the second base runner. He's at 70 pitches. It's not like they had 2 ropes to the warning track that you're okay. If he leaves if that happens again, that he could take him.
And
Take him yard.
this is the last game of
And
his season.
it's
I
not-
want his arm falling off his body
Yes,
coming out
because
of the game.
he's not pitching Sunday. He's the
No.
guy who's not pitching Sunday.
No, you're throwing 130 pitches. You're going until you have nothing left. I
Ready?
want you to tell me, I got nothing left. I can't do this anymore.
So here's what it is. You have it's not like Alvarez is bad against lefties. He's batting 324.
Yeah.
So here's my first thing. You went to the wrong lefty. If you're going to bring somebody in, you bring in Ranger because the game is still close enough with enough innings left. You need an innings eater. Now, you're keeping him on a pitch count because you may need him for game 7.
Right.
But you're not sending him out there to throw 70 pitches, but you may go throw 40.
Right.
You may throw 35, 40 pitches. So that's number one, is you went to the wrong guy. Secondly, Curt Schilling, 93. Complete game. Game 6?
We talking about the World Series?
Yes.
The World Series, he threw a complete game 5.
Was it game 5?
Complete game
149 pitches he threw in
Give me
that.
a shutout.
Yes. 149 pitches.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Wheeler threw 70.
Right.
Now, according to my math, that means that Zach Wheeler threw less than the amount of pitches that Curt Schilling threw.
Right.
He would have thrown 70, and that's less than 75. Well,
Right.
74 and a half. But my point is that eventually he was managing scared in game 6, and it came back to bite him.
Right.
And if you're going to ride him, if you're going to ride with Topper on the ups, you're going to have to ride with him on the downs too. And that was the down. I mean, I can't help but feel like this was squandered. It feels like they were beat. Astros are a good team, but Astros could have been beaten.
Yeah.
And the best way for me to summarize it all is that I'm not mad because Red October was lit,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm very, very, very disappointed, which I think is almost worse than me being mad.
Yeah, well, I mean, I talk about all the time how anger is a secondary emotion. Like, anger is driven by something else. Anger isn't primary. You're angry because you're something else. And you're just going right to that root of emotion. And I think everyone has a right to be disappointed about how this ended because, there were so many opportunities. Like I said, going back to game 5, Justin Verlander was to be had.
Yep.
He tried really hard that first 3 innings to get
you had 18 at bats with runners in scoring positions.
Yeah.
And you didn't convert it. Like the game was there to be won.
Right. Right.
But,
and you win that game, you go back to Houston with 2 chances to close it out.
Yeah.
Which one?
I got the so Rhys Hoskins had a outstanding 120 batting average in the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
JT, now he was only batting 167, but at least he was hitting the ball.
Yeah.
Right? He was at least putting the ball into play, except he did not have a very good game 5. But Nick Castellanos, 125 batting average. As a team, they batted 163 in the whole World Series. That's
I
not
think they
good.
also broke the record for strikeouts.
71.
Also, yeah.
71. Now, you have some decisions to make. Today is not the show for us to do that. But you have some decisions to make on this roster moving forward.
We can get into that a little bit.
You want to?
Yeah, let's do a little bit. Yeah.
All right. Well, Zach Wheeler declined his player option.
Zach Eflin. Yes.
No. Zach Wheeler. Both of them. Yes.
I think I missed that.
Yesterday. Zach Wheeler had a mutual option. He left it.
Wow. Well, I mean, this could just be a money thing.
I think it is because you have
I don't
some
think-
you have some top tier free agents on the pitching market this year. I think that he was Zach Wheeler is making $15 million a year. He is a much better pitcher than $15 million a year. I think that this is just his agent saying, let's decline the option and get more money. I do not believe that he has intentions of leaving. I do not believe that the Phillies have intentions of letting him leave. I think this is just, let's work out a different contract.
Are you sure about that? The Wheeler thing?
That it was reported on WIP yesterday, unless they reported it incorrectly.
He signed because that was 2019, right? Where you signed him?
They said that Wheeler they said the Wheeler and the team had a mutual option for this year. Both had to agree to it. Obviously, the team picked it up, but Zach Wheeler turned it down, is what they said. Now, I did not independently verify it, so if I'm incorrect, that's on me. But I heard it's on the WIP midday show yesterday, and I just ran with it.
Yeah, what I'm looking at right here, he signed through 24. He signed a 5-year deal, 2020.
All right. Like I said,
we'll unpack that. Yeah, we'll unpack that another time. But I know, Eflin is definitely optioned out, which I understand. I think Eflin wants to be a starter, so I was surprised for that. They declined this. Now this should give Phillies fans a lot of hope that they're going to go out and make some splash in the market. They declined Gene Segura.
I think that's just a money thing. I wasn't bringing him back for $17 million.
Well, I think they also want to upgrade the position, but I think
I think they do as well.
Yeah. So,
if
you're telling me, I mean, I love Gene Segura and thank you for your service, but if you're telling me I can have Gene Segura or one of Trey Turner or Xander Bogaerts, I'm taking either Xander Bogaerts or Trey Turner. It's looking more like Trey Turner.
You're just going to get a shortstop. You're going to move Bryson Stott to second base.
Yeah,
that's what you'll do.
It's looking more like Trey Turner because him and Bryce are really close. The Rhys Hoskins conversation is, he's here for one more year. You're not going to move him because you're not going to get much for him. The defense was costly. It definitely cost you.
No. He cannot be your.
No, and you're hoping you get more with Bryce getting the UCL surgery. You're hoping that you get more DH out of Rhys, and in those playoff games, that's what he is. He's your DH, not in the field at all. I think that'll alleviate that. And then listen, we have a free agent. You see what happens. I don't know. But and the Nick Castellanos conversation for me is really simple. I got it for my sanity, for my mental health, for what's lies in between my ears. I gotta believe that he is coming back and gonna have a better season than he did this year.
If I'm Dave Dombrowski and I have the opportunity to move that contract,
not gonna be able to.
No, I'm saying if you do, you do it.
Yeah, no one after like this is
but like
all over again.
What did you see? What did you see this year that gives you hope that he's going to be better next year?
Because
other than that, he's a silver slugger in his past.
Yeah,
and he's been a great hitter in his career.
And
other than that,
what
have you? That's it.
How do you hit 309 with 34 home runs? Go from that to what we saw this year. A guy who literally had no
John Smoltz was openly mocking him on the broadcast.
Yeah, because
he was swinging at every pitch.
Because of his approach. His approach, for the most part, was horrible. Now, I will give him credit. He started to have better at bats as the series went on. It still led to nothing, but the at bats at least were better. But he, like a guy, like he just didn't look like himself. And that's what gives me hope too, is that he was a guy who was flailing, hitting weak ground balls. Even his singles were weak. Like he wasn't driving the ball. Like the only time we saw him drive the ball was game 1 in the Braves series.
He's got Scott Boras as his agent.
The Braves series was the only time we saw him driving the ball. That's it. And like that's very unlike him in his career. So I gotta believe for my sanity that he's gonna be better next year.
I can't have Rhys Hoskins as my first baseman anymore. His defense cost me multiple playoff games this series. Now, this run. Now, granted, you ended up winning the Padres series when he cost you a game there.
Yeah.
But what was it? Game 5 was when he had the bobble, right? Or was it game 5?
It was game 5.
Game 5, he has the bobble.
Yep.
The next inning, Schwarber hits a ball down the first baseline. Trey Mancini makes the same exact play.
Who Trey Mancini, by the way, is not a great defender. Like, I don't even know how he made that play. I think the ball literally found his glove. He's not a
But
great
he made the play though. Like
right. He's not a great defensive first baseman either.
he's
But
not even an everyday player for them. Rhys
Right.
Hoskins has
I
been
don't
your
even
first
know. Like,
baseman
he
for
was
years.
just. I mean, I can't unsee that.
Like,
Oh my gosh, that
you
was-
need to move Rhys Hoskins because he's he's not that great of a player.
but the thing is, though, like,
Let me give it to you. Ready? He is a absolutely below average fielder. I don't think anybody's going to dispute that. He is an absolute, liability in the field. You
I
can't
agree.
rely on him to make routine plays that 12-year-olds make in the field. At the plate, he is a career 246 hitter. So, yes, he's streaky. He had 6 home runs in the playoffs. That's great. He also batted 147, I think, in the whole playoffs. Yeah, he had 6 home runs. He couldn't even get on base 1 out of every 5 times. He is struggling to get on base 1 out of every 6 times. He is not a good enough hitter to where you can deal with his defense. And on a team that really has not a lot of fielders and a lot of DHs, he's not there. Now, if you're saying, hey, you can choose between Castellanos and Hoskins as your DH, all right, now we're having a different story. I don't think that's the case. Because if above him on the DH level is Schwarber, I'd much rather have Schwarber as my DH and get him the hell out of left field and put somebody else out in left field. Obviously, Castellanos, you don't even want him in the field, but maybe Marcus, he was tired from standing out in right field, and that's why he didn't have great at-bats this year. Maybe. I hope not, because that's absolutely pathetic, but maybe if he actually came in with just a DH, maybe he'll come in and bat 315 next year. I don't know. But obviously, I understand that's the role he was brought in for. But Hoskins is so far, I shouldn't say so far, there's like 3 or 4, but there's enough bigger pieces on this team to where he doesn't have any value on this team for me anymore. And he needs to be moved. I don't care if he only has 1 year left. He needs to be moved because he is simply square peg, round hole on this team right now.
Yeah, I think you're undervaluing him a little bit. Like, I agree with obviously his feeling is you can't defend that. However,
I mean,
I
he's
think
a DH.
his
He's a
bat
DH.
is better than you're giving credit to. And I think there's definitely a place for him in that lineup, especially next year. I think that Rhys is a guy, yeah, like you said, he's streaky, but he hits the ball out of the ballpark. And if you're taking him out of that lineup, I want to know who we're replacing him with. Because first basemen that hit 30 home runs consistently are, it's not easy to come by. Guys are out there. I mean, the guy was, Olsen, but you didn't go get him. So because of that, Rhys is a guy that's, I wouldn't say is a slight. When it comes to him, I agree, you gotta get him off of first base. You got to get him off first base.
So, Marcus, his career average stat line, okay, is 242 with 67 RBIs and 24 home runs. That's his career average.
Okay.
I'm
going to go through.
You can find someone that can get you 67 RBIs. That won't cost you in the field. Now, I don't have that list, so don't ask me for a name. But there's people out there, and Derek Hall is not one of them. I'm not saying that.
So in 50 games played, he hit 18 home runs. 153, 18, he hit 34. 160, 29. Only 41 games, 2020, 10. 2021, 27 and 107 games played because he got hurt. He started growing. And then this year, in 156 games, he had 30 home runs. That's really good production. That's I mean, and RBIs, listen, my complaint with these guys is a guy like Reese, if you're hitting 34 home runs, I think you should have over 100 RBIs. His highest was 96 in 2018, but I think that's where they hit him 9, but they don't hit him 4 or 5. They hit him 2.
He also should not be in the 2 hole, but that's a different.
I agree with that.
That's a different.
But like
argument.
I think like I don't think moving him this year. I think one more year on this contract, splitting time. Like I don't want to see him at first base really ever. But like if you're telling me, do I want him out of my lineup? The answer is no right now. Because I don't think it's important. I think building around, bringing in a top of the lineup guy in a Trey Turner or a Xander Bogaerts or a Dansby Swanson. We throw him on the table too. Another guy that could take that score spot and go top of the lineup, and moving Reese down into a more productive RBI spot. I don't think bringing him back after next year, probably not. Because he's gonna be looking for money that doesn't make sense. But next year, having him in here for one more year, I think I don't know, with the numbers that he's put up, and you can almost pencil him in or really pen him in for 30 home runs. Next year, I'm fine with that. I'll take that 30.
If it's me and I'm Dave Dombrowski, I'm trying to move him this offseason to the Mariners and get some of them blue chippers that they got, because that minor league system's littered. Just close your eyes and pick somebody.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to rebuild right now.
Well, I'm not rebuilding. You can like Schwarber can play first base. Bohm can play first base. Like you have a log jam around the rest of your lineup.
Can, but you move Bohm to first. Who's playing third? So Armando Sosa is now your starting third baseman.
Well, no, I'm just like I'd rather have Schwarber at first. I'd rather have Schwarber at first and replace your left fielder.
But now you're bringing on the corner outfielder where you can't have it all.
Well,
so
you can find a corner. You can find a corner. Like
but I don't want someone cheap out there. If I want a corner outfielder, that's a power position. So I need someone out there that's going to
go sign somebody. Go trade for somebody.
Okay, so we go do that. Now you can't have it all. So now you want that. You want Trey Turner or Xander Bogaerts, Dansby Swanson. That's going to toss you like millions of dollars. Like,
but the thing is
at some point, the technical's going to close.
No, because this isn't football. John Middleton went over the luxury tax, and he saw what happened. He made a lot of money off Red October.
Right, but at some point, you're going to have to rein it in a little bit. And like, I think that's why for this year, I don't see a scenario where Rhys Hoskins doesn't come back, because you have other holes in the field. We haven't even addressed the fact they still need another starting pitcher.
You can use moving Reese to fill some of those holes anyway. Now, like I said, I don't have a list of all the major league prospects.
Yeah, that still gives you a hole, though. You're still looking at a hole.
Where though?
That production.
But the thing is, you're not going to lose that much production, because a 246 hitter is nobody special.
But that's what most major leaguers hit these days.
So go get one that won't cost you in the field then.
Right, but you're looking at guys that, like, Reese hits 30 home runs a year.
No, he hit 30 home runs this year. He hit 30 home runs this year. He has 148 career home runs. Take 30 off of that. He has 118 career home runs over 5 years.
He's hit 30 twice.
Okay, so two times in 6 years.
The 3 years he didn't play full seasons. And he hit 29 the other year.
But 29 is not 30.
On 129 games. So he didn't play a full year that year. And then in 2021, he hit 27 again. He didn't play a full season. And then this year, he hit 30 in 145 games. I think you're undervaluing his production at the plate a little bit.
No. Because
like Rhys Hoskins in this generation is a good hitter in this generation.
He's hitting.
Schwarber hit 209. So what's the difference? Because he hit 46.
Yes. Well, here's another thing: is also the biggest issue with the entire Phillies lineup is that the guys are out of order.
I agree.
So that's the big, like, Schwarber should have had like 140 RBIs this year.
I agree.
Now I don't know what he finished with.
It was in the 90s, which is egregious.
It was when you have 46 home runs, Yeah, when you have 46 home runs, you should have about 130 to 140 RBIs.
I agree.
If you have 30 home runs, you should have more than 79 RBIs.
Agreed.
But I also need my leadoff hitter to bat more than 209. I need my number 2 hole to bat more than 246. The difference is that 46 home runs can make up for it, whereas Rhys, his batting production does not make up for his fielding what Schwarber's batting production does for his fielding, and that's the difference. Because in a vacuum, I'm not saying that Hoskins is a bad batter in a vacuum. I'm saying that he is not a good enough hitter to supplement for his deficiencies in the field, and therefore I'm moving him. It's not that in a vacuum he's a bad hitter. He's not a good enough hitter to compensate for how bad of a fielder he is.
And I agree with that point. However, I just think for next year,
because 246 is nothing special.
No, let's get through next year. Let's get the things we really need. We need a shortstop. We need a starter.
Yeah, you need another starter.
We need a starting pitcher. We need a shortstop. Let's fill those holes.
And you need reinforcements out of the pen.
1,000%.
I feel like you can. Every team says that. You can say that every year for you.
Even though I will tell you this. I will say this. I want to be positive for a second. I am very excited about Connor Brogdon next year. I thought
you were going to say Painter.
Well, yeah, that too.
I thought that's what you were going to say.
Yeah, that too. But Brogdon, I'm excited because I think he turned a corner during the playoffs. He got off to a really shaky start, but he became a guy you could depend on. He gave him some quality innings. He has electric stuff. I think with him, Alvarado, Dominguez, and then you bring in another arm.
I don't need Robertson here anymore.
I don't. I'm good. I'm cool on that.
I really don't need Brad Hand.
Bellotti, we'll see. We'll see about Bellotti. I mean, Bellotti and Nick Nelson, we'll see.
I don't need Thor.
I want to bring him the string. I really do want to bring him the string training. I want to see what that arm does.
I don't need Kyle Gibson.
No, I'm good. I'm cool with him too. You got to upgrade there.
Do I need Bailey Falter? I don't know. I don't know if I need him.
I mean, need is a strong word. I don't think you need Bailey Falter.
Well, you definitely don't want Bailey Falter.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know about him, but like that pitch, the pitching. You look what the Astros had. That's what I want. I want guys coming out of the bullpen, firing 100. Doesn't matter who I pick. Literally, I'm closing my eyes and going, you. And he gets up, he throws 105. That's what I want. That's what the Astros had.
Did you see the Astros players and McCuller, or was it McCullins? What's his name? The guy that they showed?
Coles Jr.?
Yeah, did you see his speech in the locker room after they won?
No.
So, first off, I'm probably the least qualified Astro in this series to be giving the speech after they won.
Correct.
I don't remember exactly what he said, but he goes something along the lines of, winning a World Series is tough. So, don't take this for granted, number one.
Mm-hmm.
But, everybody tried to hold us down. We started out west. We shut them down. We went to the Northeast. We shut them down. They tried to this is word for word because I remember what he goes. They tried to send us to Red October and we left them all in a pool of blood. Let's go Astros. And then he pops the champagne. Now, I don't care what you say in your victory speech. Like, that doesn't bother me. Sir, they shelled you 7-0 and clearly the whole lineup figured you out.
Right.
Not sure that should be you. Now, I'm not like they won the title. You can say whatever you want.
Right.
Just not sure it should have been him.
Right.
That's just my only thing about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's listen, what I'm hoping is this was a wetting of the whistle. Like, we got our taste back.
Mm-hmm.
We're all, and like you mentioned, I'm going to bring up something from you said in your opening statement when you brought up how a bunch of new fans and new people, new generations. My wife's one of them. She watched every game. She always was, baseball. She sat down and started watching with me and watching the playoffs. Like, this is awesome. I didn't know this is what it was. I was like, I tried to tell you. Red
It's
October
tough.
is
It's tough. It's really tough to deal with that for 162 games across 7 months.
Yes.
But over the span of 30 days, you can handle it.
And the thing is, baseball has such a dramatic shift where it's a very laissez-faire sport, which I like. I like that too because it's perfect for summer. You know, you're doing stuff around the house, you have the game on in the
It's
background.
hot out there. You don't be running too much.
Right, you're peeking in and you're peeking out. You can flip. That's what makes it an ultimate summer sport. But then you have that dramatic shift when it gets to September where everything is intense. Everything matters. Every pitch, every moment matters. And it's what makes it so cool. It's like watching two different sports almost. Playoff baseball is completely different than regular season baseball, where every sport has its differences and the intensity, but like everything doesn't matter. Like a first quarter of an NBA playoff game doesn't really matter that much. First quarter of NFL playoff game, unless you're down 35-0, doesn't really matter that much. However, playoff hockey and playoff baseball, everything matters. Everything. That's what makes it so cool. So listen, at the end of the day, very excited about the future of this team. Finally got over the hump, got in the playoffs, gave us 6 weeks of incredible talk and baseball. So thankful for that.
Real quick.
October.
Real quick before we transition into football, let me get my top 5 out here now.
Okay.
Because my top 5 for today is the top 5 moments of the 2022 Red October.
Ooh.
So let's end this conversation on a positive note.
I think I know my number 1, but go ahead. I'm gonna hear what you got.
Number 5, NLCS Game 1. Schwarber hits a home run to the moon versus the Padres.
That ball's still going.
I don't think it's landed yet.
I don't think it's landed either. That was a shot.
Longest home run in Petco Park history.
Look at the flick of the wrist. Ball gone.
And Petco's that's not a new stadium.
Yeah, that's a big park too.
Yeah.
It's a big boy park.
Number 4, NLDS Game 4. JT Realmuto in the park home run versus the Braves.
I forgot about that. Yeah, what a moment that was. An inside park home run by a catcher in the playoffs.
First time ever in the playoffs. Third time ever, period.
Insane. Number
3. We bury people when they are awful, but when they're good, we give props. NLDS, Game 1, 9th inning, Nick Castellanos makes a diving catch to save the game.
Yep. Big moment. Comes 7-6 game. Things are getting weird. Nick says, hold on, fellas.
Now, I think that you probably know what maybe 2 and 1 are.
Out of the order.
So I'll give you the game and you can give me the highlight. How's that?
Yes.
Number 2, NLDS Game 3.
Where I watched a soul leave a body and watched someone melt on a mound. Rhys Hoskins, to me, this isn't, I know it's number 1, obviously. Yes. Obviously it's number 1. It has to be number 1.
It is.
However, this may have been my favorite moment. I don't know that I heard Citizens Bank Park louder than this moment. I'm including the Bryce home run, Bedlam at the Bank. I don't think I've heard anything louder. And it was a perfect storm. Rhys gets the fastball down the middle of Cookie. He doesn't miss it. The bat slam, not a bat flip, the bat slam. Because it was, you know what it was? It was like 11 years of pent-up rage for everyone just releases. Because the game started off pretty slow. Strider is cooking, looks incredible. And then you had those really important at-bats. He starts to lose a little bit of control. He's kind of wavering a little bit. And then the moment, the payoff of all of that 11 years, you get it all in one swing. And that, wow. Yeah.
And number 1, NLCS Game 5.
Yeah. Big players do big things in big moments.
Bryce Harper hits the go-ahead home run in the bottom of the 8th.
Oppo Boppo.
I called it in my head.
Yeah.
I can't believe it happened.
Yeah.
This man is the prime time of prime times.
Yep.
As Stephen A. Smith likes to say, this man is box office.
Yep.
He's big time.
Yep.
He's whatever analogy you want to use, that's Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
And a conversation for not necessarily today because we're already 51 minutes into the show and we haven't even dove into football yet. And I know that you are not ready for basketball, but a conversation that you mentioned we need to have is the LeBron James Bryce Harper conversation.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%. And I will say one memory I think that we got to give credit to, and because he's not even going to be here anymore, I think it's very important to talk about it because I don't know if this run even happens if we don't get that Gene Segura bloopy bloop sneaking past second baseman in game 1 of the wild card series. That was as big as hit.
Well, so here are a couple. So that's the top 5. What do you think about?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Yep.
Any issue with the order?
No, I think the Bryce has to be number 1. Like I said, I think the Reese moment is my favorite. I think honestly, game 3 of the NLDS is my favorite game I watched this entire postseason.
Yeah, a couple of things that were takeaways that I didn't get a chance to mention. One of them was the Bryson Stott 9 at bat, 9 pitch at bat.
Yeah. Yep.
That I was going to put that on there.
Mm-hmm.
Another one I was going to put up there was the leadoff home run by Schwarber in game 3 World Series. I think it was, or was it? No, I'm sorry, not lead. I'm sorry, not the leadoff. The Schwarber in the Schelling, the 5 home run game.
Oh my God, we hit that thing off
yes,
the brick wall. Yeah.
Yes, so that was that put that up there, but I didn't want to put 2 Schwarber home runs up there.
Yeah.
And the moon shot was a bigger moment than than that. And I thought about the barely leaving the yard Marsh home run where the kid just barely.
Yeah. Yep.
But I was like, I can't put that up above any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I for a performance, I thought about putting Ranger in there. But again, it wasn't individual. This wasn't based on, I wasn't giving out a playoff MVP award. I was picking the top 5 moments.
Right.
So, Gridiron?
Real quick, I do want to say something about the Sixers. I want everyone to know where I'm thinking. And listen, this is the Bradham and Emery show. This is not the Bradham show. So this is what I'm about to say here is strictly how I'm feeling. I personally do not want to talk about the Sixers until the Eagles season's over. I personally don't have the energy for them right now. And I didn't know that until the season started. They played last night, and I'm telling you, I watched the Real Housewives of Potomac while they were on. I couldn't do it. And they won last night. And apparently they look good. And all could be well. And
No. Niang just decided he wanted to make it rain.
And that's listen. I don't want to get into the ins and outs because right now I can't do it. I feel like what's happened to me is that all of the past couple of years of Sixers talk, I didn't know that I was tired of talking about them. And let's be logical about this. 2019, the Toronto series happens. And then the pandemic year and the bubble and how awful that was. Then the number 1 seed against the Hawks. Then the Ben Simmons stuff.
I am really glad that you did not do Buffalo sports talk radio in the 90s then.
Then you get Harden. And then last year, the Heat series and Embiid's broken face. And I'm tired. I'm tired. I can't do it right now. I know there's going to be a time I'm getting excited about them. I want to talk about them. It's just not now. And I don't want to sit on here and just be a miserable curmudgeon over them when I could just take a break. I'm taking a mental health break from them. I need them.
will give you my quick viewpoint on it. I fully support taking a mental health break from them because I have so much anger that I've expressed to you off the air towards this team that I know that you're not ready to
I'm not ready to unpack any of that.
You're not ready to either A, throw your fuel on the fire,
Yeah.
or B, try to put the fire out.
Yeah,
Either way,
I don't have the energy to do any of those things. So what here's my hope. Here is my hope. I'm hoping I'm rewarded by not obliterating them on air or not just being angry about everything they do. Because that's where we are in the relationship. It's like when you know you're about to break up with someone, everything they do makes you angry. They could, like, it doesn't matter, like, the pattern of their brushing their teeth, how they put on their socks, the meal they made for you that day, you know, anything. They could ask you a question as simple as, what's the weather going to be tomorrow? And you're angry about it. That's how I feel about them right now. I don't care what they do. I'm going to be angry because I'm so upset about the past couple of years of everything that I've had to talk about. Where here's my dream scenario. My dream scenario is, because I'm choosing to step away and take a mental health break from them, I am hoping I am rewarded with a nice Eagles run leading into February, and we don't have to talk about Sixers basketball until February, because by then I feel like I'll probably be in a better space to discuss them. And also, too, I will have allowed things to play out more where I can actually see who they are. Right now, let's be honest. It's November, early November. We have no idea who they are. We just don't. So it doesn't make sense in any way to do that. So I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm out. I'll see you in February. You guys do you. I'm going to do me. Let's hopefully come back and make some magic and have a nice stretch run. We have some amazing things planned for the Sixers coming in the spring. So I want to be positive about those.
If all goes according to plan, you won't hear us talk basketball till February 15th.
Yes.
No, you won't, because we will be at a parade that day. Yeah. February 16th or 17th.
I might be in the hospital that day. Delivering a baby.
Yeah, well, yes. Hopefully. I
might get a Super Bowl baby.
Hopefully she comes sooner than that for you.
Yeah, yes.
Now, would you prefer before or after?
Just not on. No Valentine's baby.
Like, would you? No. I'm saying this for the Super Bowl. Would you rather? Would you rather?
I would honestly rather her get here before.
Before,
I don't have to stress over it on that Sunday.
No,
like, is something going to happen?
No, say hypothetically you knew it wasn't going to be during the Super Bowl. You could know you would either be watching the Super Bowl with a 1 week old, or within a week of the game afterwards, you were going to be dad times 3. Which, if you could determine it, which one would you pick?
I mean, I think it'd be awesome to be holding her watching the game. That'd be great. Like, she can get her first glimpse.
You're gonna be doing the Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Oh my effing God!
I can't be bopping
everyone. 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 Yes.
Yeah. Definitely before.
Relax, honey. You're gonna drop her. No, they won the effing Super Bowl.
Yeah. And he's like, let's go. He's gonna yell, trying to yell, and
oh my God. Oh my God.
And a maniacal laugh. That was awesome.
Meanwhile, he's got a bad Achilles and he's just hopping around the house.
Yep.
Go.
So that's my Sixers take for now, and hopefully you won't hear another take till February.
And we will be very mad if the Eagles season doesn't extend the full way based on how it started, and we have to bring Sixers talk.
Yeah, Sixers, you better hope the Eagles do what we think they're going to do, or it's not going to be good for you when I do talk about you.
No.
If I'm in a bad mood having to talk about them, God help them. So,
congratulations to the Union for making it to the championship.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I'm going to lay out here because I'm going to be honest with you. I did not watch one single solitary second of the Eagles Texans.
I got you because I watched the whole game. So
my plan was to flip or set up the laptop. I was just so invested in that game. I couldn't take my eyes off it. I kind of looked at the phone and see what the score was. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I didn't watch 1 second of it.
I got you.
So take me through it. and then we'll go from there.
So the first quarter, the Eagles looked like a team that had to travel and play on Thursday on the road.
Okay.
They just looked like that in the first quarter. Second quarter, they came to life a little bit. 14-14 at halftime. But what do good teams do at halftime when they're playing an inferior opponent? They make the necessary adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
And they came out, and in the second half, it looked like the Eagles in that second half looked like the Eagles in the first half that we saw earlier in the season, for the rest of the season. They came out, it looked like they went into the locker room. Jalen Hurts said, "We're tied 14-14 against clearly an inferior opponent. What are we doing?" And they came out and they executed in the second half like they were a 7-0 team playing a 2-5-1 team or whatever they are, 1-5, whatever the record is. That's what they looked like they came out. In the first quarter, Jalen Hurts looked like a guy who, for the first time ever, was playing in his hometown in front of friends and family. And he looked like, for the first time since his rookie year, in my opinion, and maybe the Tampa Bay game, like a deer in the headlights in the first quarter. Now, he snapped out of that real quick. But it looked like if you were a pro athlete, Marcus, and you came back to play a game against the Eagles and you looked around the stadium, you saw people wearing your jersey in your hometown. It looked like that for him for the first quarter. Second quarter, though, came out. Defense. Multiple interceptions in the second half. Javon Hargrave, unblockable. 3 sacks. Love when the big man's kick the hole. You know how like they do like the they do the circle and they kick the hole. Love that. Fletcher Cox. Yeah. It's remarkable that Javon Hargrave had 3 sacks with how Fletcher Cox was playing. Penalties, a little too many penalties. Oh, Jordan Mailata. Thumbs down ×3 for him. He had an awful game. And he even came out and said it after the game. He's like, the crowd noise was bothering me for this game. But he came out and said it. Now, I'm not sure you'd admit. Yeah, I'm not sure why you'd admit that. Yeah, no, Mailata has came out after the game. Now,
it was loud there?
I mean, they play in a dome.
What are they getting loud about, though? They suck.
I know. I don't know. Honestly, from the screen, from what I saw more people in Astros jerseys than I saw in Texans jerseys in the crowd.
I mean, makes sense.
But Lane Johnson didn't have a great game either. Miles Sanders. 3 thumbs up for him. Dallas Goedert, 6 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown.
Gainwell had a tutty, right?
What's that?
Gainwell had a tutty too.
Gainwell had a tutty. Sanders had a tutty. Sanders should have had 2 or 3 touchdowns. He had several times where he would carry the ball from like the, say the 12 to the 15-yard line down like the 2 or 3 yard line.
Yeah.
And then they would change up. There was multiple times where he got
a good year.
He's playing like that. And they came out in the second half and they put foots to asses on the Texans.
Still have not trailed yet in the second half, right?
Have not. There is a big point of concern, though. 139 yards on the ground to Dameon Pierce. He broke 14 tackles. And we're not just talking about, he squared up Avonte Maddox.
Right.
Josh Sweat, broken tackle. Running over TJ Edwards. We need to improve the tackling.
Yeah. And definitely something to monitor that Jordan Davis being hurt.
Yes.
Something to monitor looking.
Yes, because you lost the big man up front, so they're going to he wasn't playing a ton of snaps, but he was making a difference in the run game. Right. No doubt about that. He's gone. It's really hard for me to nitpick against a team that's 8-0. Like, it's really hard for me to sit here. My biggest concerns are the special teams still are not that great, and they can be had in the run game, which obviously, if you're looking ahead at the schedule, does not bode well for when Derrick Henry comes to town.
It does not.
So you got a couple weeks to get this figured out. Jordan Davis might be back by then because I don't think we play the Titans for like another 4 or 5 weeks. Jordan Davis will be back by then. Big man with an ankle injury. You don't want to rush him back.
Right.
But I felt pretty damn confident, Marcus, that we were looking at a 15-0 team that we're going to take the last 2 weeks of the season off. I'm now mildly concerned about the Titans game with Derrick Henry because when you look, Lombardi gave me the stats for that game real quick. In the Titans game against the Chiefs on Sunday night, the Titans only accumulated 1 first down after the first quarter. They held possession for an extra 11 minutes and took the game to overtime with not getting a single first down after the first quarter. They control the clock. They hold the ball.
Yeah.
That can be a recipe for disaster for any team. Now, the difference is that the Eagles, they got some hawks over there, Marcus.
Right.
Oh, they got some guys that just bring the ball down. And it appears now Malik Willis is the Titans starting quarterback. But I'm now a little concerned about that Titans game. But all in all, they won the game. 27-14, I believe, was the final. Covered the spread. Spread was 10.5. You covered.
There you go. Monday night against the Commanders, they're playing better football. They lose a close game.
Now, hold up real quick. I have had multiple people tell me you better be at the tailgate.
Commanders?
Yes. Monday night. I have had numerous people, both in person and send me texts, asking if you were going to be there, saying that Tailgate Marcus is their favorite person. I've had multiple people across multiple channels tell me that. So
what I will say is it's either going to be the Commanders game or the Packers game.
Allow me to tell you why you should go towards Commanders.
Why's that?
Number one, early forecast looks like we're going to have some pretty good weather. Looking at mid-50s and sunny for next Monday. Do you really want to go out the Sunday after Thanksgiving, Sunday night? You're looking late November, cold weather after Thanksgiving. You might still be digesting from Thursday.
True.
Plus, I don't think the Packers are going to be good.
Neither do I. Well, see, here's the thing.
I don't want to show up to a tailgate and they lose.
Here's the thing. Here's what I'm struggling with. I'm in a groove right now. I'm eating really well. I've lost a bunch of weight. I'm on a journey to lose more. If I go Monday, it's gonna be all. If we're gonna have taking tequila baths.
Well, who said you have to do all that?
Listen. When I go, what they want Tailgate Marcus. Tailgate Marcus. That's what Marcus does.
Hold on. First off, okay, let me say tequila has next to no carbs in it. Okay, so if you're well, who said? Well,
I'm getting a cheesesteak.
I'm about to say, no. I understand.
Chopping up the grill like that. I'm just sitting there saying, no, I can't.
Eat half of one.
Come on.
Here's what you do.
At that point,
don't eat the rest of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta think about it. I
just want you to know that your presence has been spoken highly of frequently.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, listen, I didn't know I would have this much fun. It's a lot of fun. I
can't believe you didn't come to a tailgate till your 40s.
But you know what though? But I'll be honest with you. I think we're just spoiled because we're friends with people that do it the best out of anybody.
That I mean,
so, if
I have, there are levels to this tailgate.
I don't think regular tailgates operate this way.
You know who actually throws a great tailgate?
Who's that?
The 4th and Go guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they have a bus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know a little bit about this. Yeah.
Yes.
Where are they at? What lot are they in?
K-Lot?
Okay. I don't know where that is.
They're in the lot that's across the street from the Phillies first base gate.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're just, like I said, I think we're just really spoiled. Like, so you're mentioning the 4th and Go guys. You can go there if you want to.
Yes.
E-Rock's family does one. We can stop by there if we want to. You got the 4th of July. We're elitists, tailgate elitists. Like, normal tailgates don't operate this way. We're like the blue blood tailgate family.
Mhm.
You know, that's why I haven't gone on a tailgate probably, because like I didn't know people like this until like 5-6 years ago. So here I am.
Yeah, I mean, tailgate. Here's the thing: is a bad tailgate can ruin the experience for you.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Nothing compares to a good tailgate.
Yeah.
Like on the other side, like nothing
We gotta
compares.
get people. You know what needs to happen? We got to get people, and maybe this is us. Maybe we do this next summer. We got to get some Phillies tailgates going.
Oh, Marcus, you want to hear a quick story about me getting wild at a Phillies tailgate? I was trying to find the right adjective. Let's just say wild.
Sure.
So this is during the peak. This is the peak time.
This is Red October time.
No, it's Red July time, but during that period of time.
That run, yeah.
Yes, during the run. But
yeah.
So a friend of mine, so I think you've heard me go off before about how I hate the people that live in Central PA who choose which Pittsburgh and Philadelphia teams they have allegiance to.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a friend of mine who I went to college with. She was a Steelers, Penguins, Phillies fan because what teams were good.
Right.
And a Sixers fan just because Pittsburgh doesn't have a basketball team. And her excuse were, well, where I live, the minor league Penguins and the minor league Pirates, or the minor league, the Penguins play. So I became a Penguins fan, and the Steelers, and whatever. Anyway, so she gives me a call. She goes, "Hey, I know this great Phillies tailgate. You want to go?" Happened to be like the one day I wasn't working. It was a Saturday afternoon. It was a 4:05 Saturday afternoon game in July.
Those are awesome.
Oh, sign me up.
Yeah.
Let's go. She's like, all right, yeah. She's like, come down to my apartment. She lived down by Drexel. She's like, come down to my apartment and we'll take an Uber over there. Bet. Let's do it. Go over to her house, get there. She's got like a bunch of her friends there. So now I'm traveling to a tailgate. It's me and like 6 women. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be any tailgate we go to, we're gonna get in.
Yeah.
It's
great.
So I tell her ahead of time, listen, I'm not eating ahead of time. Will they have food? She's like, absolutely, they'll have food there. Don't worry about it. We get there. All the food's gone. They had food. It was all gone, though.
Uh-oh.
So I'm like, all right. We drinking then. We drinking then.
Yeah.
We're all lit. Bombed.
Yeah.
Smashed. Because I haven't eaten all day.
Right.
It's 100 freaking degrees outside. We go to Xfinity Live. I don't really know. I don't recall doing anything. I would think I was just way too drunk to be in public. They kicked me out of Xfinity Live. Okay. I literally come, they're like, I remember it was a woman security guard. She kicks me out the back door. She's like, you got to leave. Okay. I literally walk around to the front, give the guy my ID. He lets me right back in. I walk right back in, find my friend sitting at the bar. And I go back over there. I'm like, yeah. She's like, I thought they kicked you out. I was like, yeah, I did. But they just,
did a lot.
About 10 minutes later, the same security guard kicked me out, comes back up to me again. And she looks at me. She goes, how did you get back in? I was like, I used the door. I came around. She goes, you got to go. She said, you can't be here. If you come back in again, I'm going to call the cops on you. I'm like, but what did I still don't know what I think I said. I think I was just too drunk to be there. Yeah. But I'm like, what did I do? Like, what did I do? So I leave. Well, my friend's working the door at McFadden's across the street at the ballpark. So I walk across the street, go up there. He looks at me, puts his arm around me and goes, I can't let you in here. Go to my house. Here's the key. Sleep on my sofa. I'll be home in a few hours. Like, you can't be here. Now, fast forward, I woke up on his sofa a couple hours later. But that, like, Phillies tailgates are a thing, Marcus, when they're good.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of tough when you have like 7:05 Monday, 7:05 Tuesday, 7:05 Wednesday, 7:05.
Yeah, it wouldn't be every day, but I think.
Like, oh no, there's people that tailgate every day. I don't know how they do it.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like we do like a once every couple weeks thing. Or...
They need AA.
Yeah, that's a lot. Tailgating every day it's a lot.
You need AA.
Yeah.
Got some power rankings for us?
Let's get into power rankings.
Oh, you got last week's first?
I do. So, as usual, run through last week's, and we will get into this week. Last week, we had the 49ers, Dolphins at 9, 8 New York Giants, 7 Seahawks, 6 Titans, 5 Cowboys, 4 Vikings, 3 Chiefs, 2 Bills, 1 Eagles. definitely did some shuffling this week. This was a tough week because like we're getting to the point now where there's some really good football teams that are not going to be on the list. And there's some debates you can have in the last couple spots, and it's just going to be like that for the rest of the season.
Okay.
So I did my best, and let's see what you guys think out here.
All
So
right.
number 10, I kept the 49ers there because I agree they are really good. And I think they are definitely a top-tier NFC team. So I think them being at number 10, I think was the right move, keeping them there. The Giants are not on this list, even though they have 6 wins. They did lose last week to the Seahawks in terrible fashion. So that's why I left them off. The Titans will not be on this week after their loss, even though it was a close loss to the Chiefs. I had to make concessions to get them off there. A team that I was struggling to put on this week and thinking maybe was the Patriots. The Patriots are playing good football, and they look really good against the Colts, even though the Colts are not good. That's why it was kind of the strength of the win, why I kept them off. It's going to be very hard to keep them off the present week. So I'm going to be stressed out the next couple weeks, to say the least. So number 10 and 49ers. Number 9, back on the Baltimore Ravens. We mentioned the linebacker acquisition. I was going to make them better. They looked really good against the Saints going to the Dome. They were only a 2-point favorite going in, and they covered easily, beating that team. I think
I can't believe they were only a 2-point favorite. I decisively took them yesterday to win.
I think it was respect for the Dome.
Andy Dalton.
Yeah, respect for the Dome, I guess.
Did you watch the game yesterday?
A little, in and out, yeah.
Yo, he got hit so hard his mustache turned red again. Like he was, dude. He took some Andrew Luck level abuse last night.
Yeah,
Andy Dalton.
Number 8, I went with the Miami Dolphins, who, I mean, listen, the defense needs some work. Like, I don't know what's happened out there because they actually have good defensive players. They're not playing good defense. Giving up 32 to the Bears. I mean, even though Justin Fields continues to improve week in and week out, like his game against Dallas last week and his game this week against the Dolphins back to back, he's starting to put it together. So I guess keep an eye on them, not obviously for the power rankings, but the improvement of him to see if these defenses really are struggling or if he's just playing better football. But the Dolphins at number 8, they're still undefeated with Tua. That offense is absolutely terrifying. Jalen Waddle is playing out of his mind. By the way, you still have Tyreek Hill on the other side. So they're a beast. Okay, so I did a whole monologue on New York Jets last week saying how I thought they'd be out and they were done. But I mean, man, it just goes to show you what can happen when you have a really good defense. Sauce Gardner is insane. He's already a top 5 corner in the league right now as a rookie, like 7 games in, which is silly.
Yeah, right? He's a little handsy for me. Like, there's a lot of plays that he can get thrown for pass interference that he doesn't get on that like are razor thin. So yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's having a great season so far through his rookie year, but he's got a lot to clean up from a technique standpoint in the offseason.
So they got down 14-3 against the Bills. The Bills looked like they were about to run away with that game, and the defense shut them down. They only scored 3 points from then on out. That's a high-powered offense over in Buffalo. I mean, shutting them down is a big.
And we got a potential Josh Allen injury.
A scary one. One that involving the initials T and J, possibly.
Yeah.
This could be a UCL situation.
Yeah, well, apparently what Rappaport has said is that it could be anywhere from season-ending surgery to not missing a game, which is a wild range.
Yeah, so a lot of butt punches over in Buffalo because that obviously will be their season if you lose Josh Allen. He just does too many great things for that offense to survive.
So you're saying you have no faith if Case Keenum comes in?
I don't.
Good.
At number 6, and they keep on rolling, those Seattle Seahawks. You just keep on winning. Geno Smith, again, one of the top stories of the league. The defense is playing better, too. I don't know I don't know how this ends for them. I don't know what they're going to be in the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know what this looks like, but they're playing really good football. And it's impossible at this point to ignore, just like last week, to ignore how good they're playing and the way they're playing. They're winning. They're putting up points. They're winning games. So this is the first time this team has dropped out of the top 3 all year. Buffalo Bills at number 5. As you mentioned, huge question about Josh Allen's future of the season. I still, even though the Jets have played better football, even though the Jets have been in the power ranking before, I still think it's a bad loss for them. I feel like with their goals, the skill positions they have on offense, I don't care how good the Jets defense is. The fact that you only scored 3 points after the second quarter is just, that's not going to work. So that's why they're 5 this week.
Can I try to guess the next one?
Sure.
Cowboys?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some big shuffles in the top 5.
Okay.
Number 4, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
Even though they win, not exactly a banner performance out of them. And I'm looking at the 3 teams I have ahead of them. Who am I more impressed with? And number 3, it's Minnesota Vikings. I'm impressed because, the Commanders have quietly played really good football over the last couple weeks. Quietly.
Who do you possibly have at number 2 then?
Well, anyway, we'll get back to the Vikings. I'm sorry, not the Vikings. Commanders quietly have played really good football. Got the record back to 500 going into that game. It looks like Carson Wentz has lost his job again.
Yep.
Even when he comes back from injury.
Yo, did you hear about the in stadium banner they had?
No.
Oh, so in FedEx Field, they had like up on the jumbotron before the game. They were like, make sure to reserve your season tickets for next year, with a picture of Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, I think after this run, I think they're officially gonna give him his real shot next year. And I think, like, how can you not? Like, listen, it is really important in a position of power to be likable, to be someone people want to support. And for some reason, that's always been an issue with Carson Wentz, is that the talent's there, as we know. He hasn't even played bad this year.
No, he didn't.
It's just that people just don't like him.
Yeah, his teammates hate him. Wait, let's just call it what it is.
Everywhere. And then, like, that's, it's the opposite with Heineke. And it shows in the play on the field. They play for him. And, even that game, listen, they were up 17-7 in the fourth quarter. The Vikings just said, no, not today. That's pretty much how that worked out. At number 2, Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
I was evaluating. Here's the deal. I was looking at them and their body of work over the past couple weeks. Yes, they lost to the Eagles, but the body of work to me is right now in this snapshot, I believe the second best body of work in the NFC. I think the way they're winning games, how they're playing football with the offense and defense combined, is a recipe for being successful in the postseason. Now, will they? This is Dallas Cowboys we're talking about, so I don't know. But I think it can no longer be ignored. Like, if you asked me, if you put Vikings and Cowboys on a field in a playoff game, no factors of crowd, anything like that, I think the Cowboys are a better team and should win that game. So I think 2 makes the most sense for them. And I couldn't Bills being out of that spot, the Chiefs being out of that spot really was an argument of the Vikings and Cowboys for me. So I went with Cowboys. And number 1, still undefeated, obviously your Philadelphia Eagles at 8-0. That's the list. I'm sticking to it.
Wow. Eagles obviously undisputed number 1, 8-0.
Yes.
If it was me, I would have the Chiefs at number 2.
Okay.
Probably go Vikings 3, and then I'd be split at 4 or 5 Cowboys Bills. I really wouldn't give you much pushback if you went 4 Cowboys, 5 Bills, or 4 Bills, 5 Cowboys. And then I really I don't have an issue with anybody on your list. It's kind of just the order of it.
Mm-hmm.
and not even like really egregious. I think the Chiefs are number 2.
You can make 2, 3, 4, 5. We can debate that literally all day.
Yeah, and I think you can do debate the same thing between like 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah,
If
and like
you
I
had-
said, we're at the point now where some good teams are not.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and it's
And
going to be like that going forward.
if you had I think the Ravens should be number 7 instead of the Jets, and the Jets should be number 10, and the 49ers should be. But like it's just the order of the teams. I don't disagree with the actual teams you have on the list.
Yeah.
So I actually have the top 8 that I view as the most quote unquote reputable, because we know that sometimes these lists can be kind of suspect. Lists compiled all here, and let's go through it. What do you say?
Sure.
So just to get into it, Eagles are number 1 on every list. So
As it should be.
I'm not going to even go. I'm not going to go above number 2 because they're number 1 for everybody's list is the Eagles. Okay, so for ESPN, we have basically you guys have every team that's the same, just a little bit of a different order. You have 10 49ers, which you have. However, they have 9 Seahawks. You had them at 6. They have 8 Jets. You have them at 7. They have 7 Ravens. You had them at 9. They have 6 Dolphins. You had them at 8. They have Vikings 4. You had them at 3. They have Bills 3. You had them at 5. Chiefs 2. Eagles 1.
Okay.
NFL Network: Seahawks 10. Jets 9. This is where there's not very many lists that have any team on there that you don't have, but this is one of them. They have the Titans at number 8.
Okay.
Vikings at 7, which I feel like is a little low.
Me too.
49ers at 6, which I feel is a little high.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of moving a team up when they didn't play, I guess. Well,
Number 5 Ravens, which I feel like is a little high still for them. 4 Cowboys, 3 Chiefs, Bills 2. Like I said, Eagles 1.
let me rephrase that. It's not about moving them up when they didn't play. If for me, so the Niners last week were 10.
Yes.
So for me, justifying moving them out of that 10 spot higher is an issue.
Yeah, it would. You would, if somebody slated above them, that's one thing. How can you move up with being inactive?
Right.
I hear you. Here's your man Ed Kratz.
Okay.
10 Dolphins. 9 Bengals. Man, he loves himself some Bengals, doesn't he?
He does. I mean, listen, like they beat the brakes off the Panthers, but
Hey, listen, I had Joe Mixon in both my fantasy leagues. I'm not.
yeah, I mean, I that's not gonna work for. They've been way too inconsistent.
Yeah.
They've got themselves back to 5. They're 5-4. They're they're trending upwards. It looks that way, but again, they're too inconsistent. We don't know. We don't know who they are week to week.
Number 8, Seattle Seahawks. Number 7, 49ers. Number 6, Vikings. Number 5, Ravens. Number 4, Cowboys. Number 3, Chiefs. Number 2, Bills.
I don't think you justify the Bills too after a loss.
Most of these lists have the Bills at number 2.
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, especially with the uncertainty of their future, also.
Yeah,
we don't know we don't know. I mean, they could be out of here in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah,
based off of the injury.
All right, so we got Pro Football Talk now.
Okay.
Number 10, New York Jets. Number 9, the Dolphins. Number 8, Seattle. Number 7, the Ravens. Number 6, the New York Giants. Bills, Cowboys, Chiefs, Vikings at number 2.
Okay.
What's your take on that list? A little bit different from the others.
Yeah, I like the creativeness of Vikings at 2. Like I said, I think the Vikings Cowboys argument of 2 and 3 I think is legit now. What was 6 again?
The Giants.
Yeah, I don't like that. Listen, the Giants had to go because yes, they're 6-2, but that was a really ugly loss in Seattle.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything at all to remotely look like a playoff team. They just didn't. And it's just we're at the point of the year now where it's just too many good teams that you can't be penalized for losing that way.
Yeah. Bleacher Report, 49ers 10, Giants 9, Seahawks 8, Ravens 7, Dolphins 6, Cowboys 5, Bills 4, Vikings, Chiefs 3 and 2.
Okay.
Yahoo Sports, Jets 10, Seahawks 9, 49ers 8, Dolphins 7, Vikings 6, Ravens 5, Cowboys 4, Chiefs 3, Bills 2.
Yeah, the Ravens being that high right now, I think is just kind of projecting.
Ravens feel like
get there.
Ravens feel like a number 7 to me.
Yeah. And like you talked about seven. I don't have a problem at 7 to 9 slot of Ravens, but I think 5's a little high right now.
Yeah, well, if you think 5 is high, then wait till you hear what they have them on this next one. Bengals 10, Seahawks. Oh, this is the ringer, by the way. Seahawks 9, 49ers 8, Dolphins 7, Cowboys 6, Vikings 5, Ravens 4, Chiefs 3, Bills 2.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's just too high for them. Next couple weeks, maybe we'll see, but not now.
And then rounding it out with the Athletic, 10 Bengals, 9 Seahawks, 8 Ravens. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
A little bit closer. 7 Vikings, a little low for me personally. 49ers 6, a little high for me personally. Yeah. Dolphins 5, way too high for me.
Agreed.
Cowboys 4, Chiefs 3, Bills 2.
Yeah, that Chiefs Bills, people like I just feel like we need to root them down a little bit. I think people got a little comfortable having them in the top 3, and it became like, all right, well, let's keep them there for now. I don't think they deserve to be top 3 after their performances of this past week. We have 1 lose and 1 should have lost. To be honest.
Yeah, I feel like all these lists, like I said, most of them have you guys all pretty much have the same teams.
Yeah,
it's a little bit different order, but Eagles decisively should be number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see them losing this week to the Commanders.
I don't either. Chase Young looks like he'll probably be back this week.
Did he not come back last week? I thought he was supposed to.
No, he didn't come back last week. So it looks like this week.
Gotcha.
The defense is playing really well without him, so I expect them to pick up with him.
We're not on air again between now and then. So who do you got?
I got the Eagles. I mean, they're home. Monday Night Football, prime time. I can't see them losing the game. It's probably gonna be more competitive than if they had Wentz. I think they had kind of quit on him a little bit, even though he wasn't really the problem. I don't feel, but it's just they don't like him. Like no one likes him, so I think they had kind of just checked out on him. But I think with Heineke back, they're now eyeing that wild card. And this is especially after that loss to Minnesota. This is a big game for them because they had a chance to go 5-4, and now they're 4-5. So it's a big difference between 4-6 and 5-5 for that stretch run to get you in the playoffs. So it's a big game for them. So
Agreed.
I expect a big effort out of them, but I think the Eagles are just better.
Agreed. So, got a couple of quick ask us anything questions before we get out of here.
Okay.
Number 1, if you threw out a ceremonial first pitch, who would you want to catch it?
Does it have to be someone in sports?
The question was just worded. If you threw out a ceremonial pitch, who would you want to catch it? So I guess it doesn't. I mean, I'm personally going to pick a baseball player. I'm going to pick a Philly. I'm just telling you who I'm going to pick because I feel like it would just be weird for me to get up there and throw it to Brian Dawkins. Like that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
But that's who I would choose. If I could pick anybody, I would throw it out to him. I'll say I'm going to reword the question. Keep it an athlete, but doesn't have to be a baseball player. How's that?
Okay. I'm going old school. I'm going Mickey Morandini.
Okay.
One of the greatest names in the history of sports.
I can still hear Dan Baker now.
Second baseman,
Mickey Morandini.
Yep.
I'm going Ryan Howard.
Okay.
The big piece is arguably my favorite Philly of all time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind throwing one out to Halladay. Obviously, that's not possible anymore.
Right.
But yeah, the big piece. From that era. He's my favorite Philly. So I'd be hard pressed to throw it. Honorable mention though to my favorite Philly growing up though, who was a catcher, Mike Lieberthal.
Lieberthal. All right, I like that. Good one.
Next one. Have you ever severely hurt yourself doing something menial around the house?
No.
Yes.
You have?
Yes. Yes. I was walking Swoop, and I was just about back to my apartment. Like, we're talking, I was less than 30 steps from my front door. And I was looking at my phone, had the leash in one hand, and I must have just misstepped, like turning the corner on the sidewalk or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I stumbled, wiped out, and it's like I did one of those like, oh, where you're almost falling but you're stumbling.
Yeah.
And I had stuff in both my hands, so I couldn't protect myself, and I smashed my face directly on like the handicap like parking sign, like when you pull into the parking spot.
Yeah.
Boom, blood everywhere, all down the front of my shirt. I was like, I can't even take my dog for a walk without almost breaking my nose.
Oh my gosh.
And so like I walk into my apartment, and I had two of my friends upstairs. And I just walk in, there's blood gushing out of my face. And they just looked at me. What just happened to you?
What's going on?
Did you get into a fight? You have an 80-pound pit bull with you, and you're bleeding. What like?
Yeah.
It was me and a handicap parking sign. Yeah, that hurt. That like I was messed up. I had like both two black eyes, Marcus. I was banged up.
Oh my gosh.
I was during give and go time. You don't remember that? You don't remember me showing up with black eyes and everything?
Oh.
No. Oh yeah.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, I was give and go time.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I've never like. Obviously I've stubbed my toe and things like that. Like, but nothing like that. Never broken anything from just existing.
No. What would your walk-up song be for at bat?
Oh man. Oh, I've been waiting for this question. This is a it would be Jock and Jay-Z.
Okay. Heard you Jock and Jay-Z.
Jock and Jay-Z. Yeah, that would be it.
That would be it?
Walk-up song.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. It's like people know it, but it's not like too mainstream where it's like, all right.
Oh man, I don't know how you'd play this in the ballpark though.
They got edits. They edit out stuff.
Okay, I want the opening riffs. Like, or I don't know if riffs is the proper music term for it, but the opening to like you hear like the scritch. Hi, my name is what? My name is who? That's what I would want it to be.
Okay. Slim Shady.
Like, you know how like it has like the scratch and yeah, that's what I want it to be.
By the way, shout out to Slim Shady inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night goes in.
And it's also the 21-year anniversary of him winning the MTV Europe Music Award for Best Hip Hop Act.
How about that? All right.
Then one last one before we get out of here for the AMA. We've got a couple birthdays and then we'll sign off here. If you could hook up any athlete to a lie detector, who would it be and what would you ask them?
What do I want to know?
I have two answers for this. I have a morbid answer and then a real answer.
I gotta think here because.
So while you're thinking, should I give you the morbid?
We can hear yours.
Should I give you the? Well, I'll give you the morbid one now. This is because I just have to do this. I'd ask OJ if he did it.
It's okay,
but that's not my true answer. But I said I have to. I mean, I gotta ask him. Honestly, I'm going to pick McNabb. I'm going to ask him why he couldn't make it work with TL.
That's a good one.
Like,
so I thought of mine.
Like, that's what I'm going to ask him.
So I started watching Surreal Life recently.
Okay.
Surreal Life, it used to be that show back in the day. They brought it back, and on there now that you got Stormy Daniels, Frankie Muniz from Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, love Malcolm in the Middle.
Me too. One of an all-time great.
Underrated show.
Taryn Braxton, reality star. August Alsina. He's an R&B guy, but people know him most for The Entanglement with Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh, okay.
And then who else? Who am I missing? It doesn't matter. Dennis Rodman's on there.
That's a great one.
First of all, this show is a show that keeps on giving. This has been amazing television. So they did an episode where they did a restaurant in the sky where like you start on the ground, they suspend you in the sky and you eat up there. So Dennis Rodman starts getting drunk and they're going around doing like confessions.
Ooh.
But it's supposed to be like a fun game. It's not supposed to be like anything serious.
Okay.
Buddy goes on to say that he played with a guy that smashed his wife. And he walked in on them in the middle of the act. And then he had to go win a championship with the guy the next day. So, doing the math, okay? In Detroit, he was not married when they won a championship in the late 80s. This matches up with Carmen Electra because he's married to her in 98. So this is a Chicago Bull. I need to know, who is this player you're talking about?
Dennis Rodman is a great answer.
Yeah. I want to know who this person is you're talking about. Who is this person? Name names. I think I know who it is, but I need it confirmed.
Who do you think it is?
I think it's Scottie Pippen. I think it's Scottie. This doesn't feel like a Michael Jordan thing.
No, it doesn't.
I don't think Jordan's not messy in that manner.
He's only messy. He's only messy if it comes to gambling.
And then you're looking at Bill Winnington, Will Perdue, like Ron Harper,
Steve Kerr,
like Judd Bushler. It has to be this. This feels Scottie Pippen to me. It feels Scottie. But obviously, I want to know for sure.
But
he said that, and I just went, "What?" And everyone literally, it's funny because everyone in the episode kind of did the same thing. Like, how did we get here?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I would actually ask him a lot of questions, not just one.
Yeah, there'd be a lot to talk about with him. He's a guy that you would want to go out.
Honestly, I'm not sure you even need the lie detector for that one.
Right. He's a guy you want to go out, have a drink with, and just let him just go and just say things and just see where it goes. I mean, this guy has done things that's never been done before. Like, he literally, in the middle of the season, was like, I need a vacation. I'm going to Vegas.
It's crazy. And they let him.
Yeah. In the middle of the NBA Finals, he goes to Nitro to wrestle with Hulk Hogan. Like, this guy is just working out in his pajama pants.
I mean, like, this is the same person who went to like North Korea.
Yeah.
Like, didn't he show up to what did he show up to, in a wedding dress or something?
He married himself.
Oh, he married him. Yeah.
Like, yeah, he is. I mean, he's a gift. Like, but surreal life is back with a vengeance.
Let me give you another one.
Okay.
Staying in the realm of NBA.
All right.
I would choose Kevin Durant.
Okay.
And there's actually quite a few questions. But the one I'm going to ask him is, what did Draymond really say?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Because I get speculate, but like, what did he
really say? Yeah.
What did he really say?
That's a good one.
Or conversely, still Durant, what happened at that meeting in the Hamptons?
I want to know your real feelings on Russell Westbrook.
But we know that. We don't
right, but I want to hear in his.
You want to hear in his
not the speculation, not what we think, but in his words, what he actually thinks of him. That was a great question.
Yeah,
you can go down that rabbit hole forever.
Oh, forever.
Yeah.
Real quick before we sign off, just a few happy birthdays.
Yeah.
Happy 33rd birthday to Giancarlo Stanton. Happy 51st birthday to Tech 9.
Oh, okay.
Happy 47th birthday to Tara Reid.
Tara Reid.
Yes. American Pie. A bunch of other ones too.
90s crush Tara Reid.
Mm-hmm. Happy birthday to SZA.
Okay.
Big fan of people. Some people on this show are a big fan of her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who ironically was born within an hour of Giancarlo Stanton. Two of them were the same age on the same day, within an hour.
Okay.
And then happy 56th birthday to one of the wildest people to watch on TV, Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, that's funny. He just came up the other day. I was saying one of my bucket list things. I want to go to Hell's Kitchen in Vegas and just watch him yell at people over beef Wellington. Actually, I want to try because of that show. I want to try beef Wellington forever, and she refused to make it for me just because of the PTSD she has from watching.
Here, listen. There's a Hell's Kitchen at the Caesars Palace in AC. You don't even got to go over to Vegas.
Is Gordon going to be there? I want to see Gordon there.
He's never there.
I want to see him get at people.
You got to go to the one in London then.
And the one in Vegas he's at too, because that's where they filmed the show.
He's never there.
When they film the show, he is.
No, because they don't film it in his actual restaurant.
Where do they film it at? They have. Where do they get those people from? It's
all set up.
They just bring those people in and say, "Hey, come have a meal."
No. Like they're extras. Like they're.
Well, I've seen they've had celebrities in there a couple times. He had for
yeah, but that's it's just like how on Pawn Stars, that's not really the pawn shop. That's not really the restaurant.
Well, I need to get to wherever he is and watch him yell at people.
I mean, no, I've been to Hell's Kitchen at Caesar.
Shut it down! I want to hear him say, "Shut it down."
Shut it down.
Yeah, with a pencil behind his ear.
Yo, do you?
He actually the thing about him, he looks like a dude is a good time.
So you ever watch the show Hot Ones?
Yeah, I saw him. Yeah, I saw him on Hot Ones. Yeah, I love that show. That show's awesome.
Gordon Ramsay, he seemed don't cross him in the kitchen.
No.
But you get him outside of the kitchen, I bet you he's a fun dude.
Yeah. Yeah, you could tell the relationship he has with his daughters, like he does stuff with them on social media all the time. You can tell he's a good time.
And actually, I'll give you one better. If you're going to go to one of his restaurants, don't even go to Hell's Kitchen. Go to Gordon Ramsay Burger.
Where's that?
Oh, AC, Vegas,
everywhere. Okay.
Yeah, it's a casino restaurant. But I mean, the burger's so big that comes out with a knife sticking out of it.
That's the type of burger I want. That's
the knife is holding the burger to the cutting board, served to you.
Love it. That's what I like to hear. All right.
I got nothing.
At Marks Between everywhere.
At Justin Emery Show on the Bluebird app.
Brad and Emery Pod everywhere. BradmanShow.com. Vans Jewelers in Hatboro. And until next time, next Tuesday to be exact, you'll be with us, you'll be against us, but you're never going to stop us. Late.